Report a shot fired at officers trying to stop the vehicle.
We have one officer shot.
We got shots fired. Sounded like an automatic firearm.
Copy, code red, shots fired.
We have an active shooter. We have an active shooter inside the fairground.
Now it's Shots Fired with your hosts TJ Kirgin, Dinah Death Milberg, and the lovely Krystal Powers.
That's a really dangerous fairground.
What's that? Yeah.
Wherever that fairground is. I think that was from the Vegas shooting, wasn't it? Isn't that where we got that soundbite?
No. I can't believe I remember this because I don't remember like 2 days ago. I don't remember where in California. It was a few years back. There was this state fair in California.
Yeah. The guy showed up with like an SKS or something.
Yeah, and started blasting.
Well, it was California compliant though, so it made it okay.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it was.
Weird how that worked. I mean,
but I know it was
SKS.
very depressing to the liberals that it was not a black rifle.
Well, I mean, the SKS is like the original OG boomer blaster.
Well, and considering Democrats are now socialist, admittedly, like
they don't even hide it.
You watch the CNNs and they're like, Democratic socialist so and so said, and it's like, oh, and the definition of socialism is the transitory state between democracy and communism.
Yeah,
right.
And socialism always ends in
the
communism.
Absolute symbol of communism.
Yeah,
is the AK-47.
Ironic.
So, have you ever thought about how ironic it is that liberals want to get rid of the only thing that keeps communism alive in this world? Because without the AK, they wouldn't be able to control the people.
Maybe that's why it's failed so much.
Oh! I know. It's only the people that wear the boots can have the AK.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say it's really hard to be able to rule with an iron fist when you're shooting 3 MOA.
Oh, that was one of their precision rifle jokes.
It was one of them shooty boys.
Did you hear Glock is going to make an AR-15?
So I have seen.
Welcome to the party.
Yeah, it's like, well, you're 15 years late, but on one hand, I'm like, you're about 15 years late. On the other hand, I'm like, I am intrigued. You have my attention.
From what I've seen, though, it doesn't look like anything like you would expect it to have some sort of Glockness or some sort of innovation.
It's got the Glock trigger.
Yeah, like a Glock safety trigger, like a trigger safety.
That actually would be cool.
Or it would be, lower polymer, upper metal, type thing, kind of like the KP.
I wonder what ridiculous number they're going to assign to it.
But to me, it honestly looks like a quality military, like an HK style.
It reminds me a lot of some of the Geisleys.
Yeah, Geisley.
Like the Super Duties.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Daniel Defense.
I'd still be willing to give it a try just because they're so durable. This could be a fantastic AR. I mean, yes, I know everybody and their mother and their cousin and their cousin's cousin is making ARs at this point. But hey, what's one more manufacturer?
If Kara is listening from High Point, hi, by the way.
She's not.
Hey, Kara, if you're listening at High Point, will you guys please make an AR-15? Please? I think that would be awesome. And you know what? If they don't make an AR-15, High Point could make a Draco.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Wow.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah, they would.
An AK-47 pistol.
Grail.
An AK-47 pistol made out of compressed recycled toasters.
It was foretold in the prophecy that the day that happens, DMX will find where the hood is at.
Oh, wow.
On a side note, I think DMX was trying to teach us a lesson.
You think so?
That song. If you search inside, I think the hood is within all of us. That's what he was trying to teach us. Is
the hood is
you spend your whole life trying to find where the hood is at, when in reality, the hood is within you.
When I was a police officer, I was one of 3 white cops in my department.
You had to stand out like a sore thumb because you were like, I've seen those pictures. You were white as white could be.
Yeah. I tried to get as much sun as I could when I was there. But it was funny because I had a sergeant, and I had 2 sergeants, right? I was on second shift most of the time I was there, and working drugs and gangs. And so, yeah, they put the white boy in charge of the gang unit. It was awesome. But anyway.
I mean, is there anything else in Pine Lawn other than drugs and gangs?
You're not supposed to say where I was, dude.
Oh.
Yeah, that's just where they blur my face type stuff. Don't go there.
Come on.
What if Pine Lawn is listening right now?
Do they still have a police force?
No, actually they don't. It's now North County Police
Co-op. Yeah.
Co-op. It's basically contractor popo.
Yeah, because everybody else who was there went to jail.
Yeah, they did.
Literally,
actually.
I'm not kidding.
They did actually. My chief, my chief tried to indict me. My second chief there tried to indict me for planting drugs on them there gangbangers.
Like you really have to plant drugs,
Right. Well, actually, here's the case. Right. So I profiled a car, pulled it over. I was working mobile reserve at the time, so I wasn't taking calls. And me and another guy were just taking people down and searching them. Right.
Nice.
And so we get him out of the car and we pat him down. And, it's typical North County. It's summertime and everybody's wearing starter coats, the big fluffy, Chicago Bulls coats.
Yep.
Patting him down, find a box of 25 auto shells in the pocket of one of the Bulls coats. And back then, like I try to teach you people, there was no CCW. There was no Second Amendment rights to carry, no matter what color you were.
Nope.
My daddy couldn't carry a gun. He did, but he wasn't supposed to. So I then said, hey, can I search your car? And they're like, yeah, brother, you can search it. So I start searching the car. I was pretty good. And I ran my hand across the floorboard of the car in the passenger side, and there was a lump. There shouldn't be a lump in the floor.
Nope.
So I pull the carpet back, and lo and behold, there was a 25 auto, one of those shiny silver ones, Sterling, I think. Sterling 25 auto, and it had the numbers grounded off of it.
I believe that's a felony.
They was ground off, right?
Pretty sure that's a felony.
So I hem these guys up. That's a slang gangbang cop for I put them in handcuffs.
I too have seen Training Day.
Yes. So I put these guys in handcuffs, and then I begin to tear the car apart. And as I begin to tear the car apart, I'm up under the dashboard, looking up under the center console, and I see baggies of white, clumpy substance, little rocks. So I break the center console apart, and I pull out 4 bags of crack.
I mean, they could have been going to the gym.
Which is also known as packaged for distribution, right? So,
really?
Yeah.
Well,
he
I
had
didn't
way
think
more
about
than
that.
you could possibly use, yourself, right? And it was packaged.
Challenging something.
And so I had a choice, right? I could charge him with, with a distribution case, or I could get him for the gun case with the drugs, and the gun case with the drugs was a better charge because by having the gun that was a stolen gun and the drugs, it didn't matter how many they had. It was a federal case. You were in possession of a controlled one substance and a firearm at the same time. It was it's one of those big, ATF cases, right?
Yeah, that's
ATF, DEA, blah blah blah.
That's big boy jail.
So
time.
I get the ATF and the DEA involved, and we find out that the gun is stolen off of a U-City train, along with other guns. They had stolen crates of these things.
Oh wow!
And so it was part of a bigger conspiracy. And so anyway, I'm like really happy. I got a big bust.
I would think
federal case.
You'd be looking at an award for that.
Yeah. Well, so this homeboy comes in and talks to my at that time my corporal, or no, it was lieutenant. I won't say his name, but he's a rather famous North County cop. And him and the other detective take this guy's statement. This is after I've charged him. He's pending warrants. Blah blah blah. And he says, you know what? The gun was mine, and one of them bags of crack, or no, and one of those bags of crack was mine, but the other 2 bags the white cop put on me.
Why on earth, if you already had drugs and guns, would you add 2 more? Like, what would that accomplish?
That is exactly what I said to my chief. Chief, why would I waste good cocaine when I already had him in possession of good cocaine and a gun? Like, am I trying to get a distribution? I didn't even charge him with distribution to attempt to distribute.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, they IA'd me. The chief slams his fist. I'm going to put you in prison, he says to me. Yeah, and I would believed him. I was 23 years old,
that would have to be terrifying.
Scared to death.
No, that would suck.
And because when I went down there to go to work, they told me, they said there's 3 rules. Don't get indicted, don't get killed, and don't get indicted. That was every day. That was your job. And so I thought, oh, here we go. I'm going to get indicted. And so they actually did a full criminal investigation on me. And this went on for a month or 2, I think.
Wow.
Every day I would go to my lieutenant's office and say, permission to speak. And then he'd allow me to speak, and I'd ask the status of my investigation. He'd say, ongoing, Kirgin, and shoo me away with his hand.
Wow.
Finally, I got with some of my gangbangers, which were part at that time of an organization known as the PLO. I don't know if they're still around. They probably are. And I worked well with these guys. A guy named Carlos. I won't say his last name. But it was actually Andre. Andre's his older brother. So I basically got them to write a statement they came in and wrote a statement with the detectives saying that they were on the other side of the street when I pulled the car over and did the search, and they saw me find the bags of coke.
Wow.
So basically, the other gang, these guys were in opposite gangs. The other gang came in and basically wrote statements on behalf of me.
Yeah.
Right. Which made me then I owed them a favor. Right. That's how that works.
Yep.
But it got me out of that hot water. What I found out later was that it really had nothing to do with, it had nothing to do with the actual accusation. They didn't really think I did that. It was all because I was making too many felony drug arrests, and I was stirring the pot for the real criminals, which were let's just say the politicians.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Shocker. So, you're talking about when you were a cop. So what happened to the chief you had?
The chief that investigated me and tried to put me in prison?
Yeah.
He's in prison.
For what?
Well, at least at one point he was in prison. I don't know if he is today. With our legal system, he's probably,
police chief
he's probably a cop somewhere around here again. But no, my chief that tried to put me in prison, that ran an internal affair investigation against me, he was arrested by St. Louis County Police a couple years later. For maybe even a year later after I quit, because as soon as my IA investigation was over, I was gone.
Well, there's no way you'd want to work there.
Yeah, I literally quit that day. They said, "You've been cleared, Kirgin." That was the words. You've been cleared, Kirgin. I said, "Permission to speak to the chief." I cut my corners down to the chief's office, went in and basically threw my badge and my Smith & Wesson 5906 at him. Which
old school gun.
Pretty heavy gun.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was arrested for stealing cocaine out of the evidence locker. Yeah.
The irony.
Good job, Chief. Good job, Chief.
The irony.
Yeah. But that was back in the old days of municipal North County law enforcement, where most of the departments were run by criminals, and those criminals were the aldermen, and probably still are.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that's changed at all.
What I learned in St. Louis County law enforcement, municipal law enforcement, was that most of the real drug dealers were very, very well-connected old OGs.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It's exactly what you see on Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The old dude that owns the chicken place. And I'm not saying that the guy that owned the chicken place in Pine Lawn was, a drug dealer. But there was some old dudes that owned businesses in that town, and they were running everything. But that was back then. I'm talking 20-something years ago. Most of these dudes are probably gone by now. So.
I have a feeling it hasn't probably changed at all, though.
I would imagine the organizations that run those areas have evolved, but not changed completely. It's probably, heck, Andre, the dude that got me out of all the troubles, probably the big boss up there now. Hey, if you're listening, Andre, I love you, brother. Thank you so much.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Do you still owe him?
No, I'm pretty sure I helped him out.
There you go.
Yeah, some way or another.
It happens. You'll have that on them bigger jobs.
Yeah. So I left there. I went to another department for a few months as a reserve. Then I went to another department for a few months, kind of working my way west, if you will.
Yeah.
And the last department working my way west, I ended up losing that. That was the only job I've ever been. Well, no, that's the only law enforcement job I ever got fired from. Yeah. I was fired. I was a reserve cop. I won't say for what department. But this is at the very end of my career. This is when I started doing business and marketing and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was a weekend warrior cop. And one day I got pulled over in Wildwood. No, Town and Country.
Yeah.
On Highway 40. I was driving a Corvette triple black 6-speed 2002 and
Nice.
Convertible. I was coming back from the east side, and I was doing about $155.
Yeah, that'll
When
do it.
when the officer, caught up with me, I was on the D-cell, and he gets me pulled over, and he walks up to the window, and I tell him I'm a cop and blah blah blah, and he goes, "Dude, I would totally let you off, but see that car pulling up behind me? Yeah." He said, "That's my lieutenant, and you walked him at 135," and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll take my blows." But one thing led to another, and I lost my job. So, but I didn't stop working in law enforcement. I ended up working further west I did that for many more years, have all kinds of other fun stories from it, and I'll save those for a different show.
Did you know when you got pulled over you were probably going to get fired for that?
I thought when I got pulled over I was going to go to jail.
Actually, yeah, no, 155. That's
Yeah. 155 coming back from the east side.
there's no explaining.
It was like
that.
3 in the morning, Alex.
Yeah, there's no explaining that one away.
No. But fortunately, calmer heads prevailed, and all I did was lost a job I didn't get paid to do anyway.
I could think of worse things to happen.
Absolutely. Speaking of worse things, what else is going on in the world of guns, freedom, defense, and all of that sort of stuff? We were talking about the Glock AR-15. We're excited to see that come to market.
Now say it
That's the
without
big
laughing.
news. That's the big news of the week.
That's going to be the huge announcement at SHOT Show that everybody already knows. Is Glock's going to be like, come look at our AR, and everybody's going to be like, wow, it's an AR.
Yeah.
Cool.
But maybe we're returning back to the, to the beginning. And all things from here will be new.
So like Picatinny rails? Like that?
Yeah.
And A2 front sights?
I'm thinking probably not the Picatinny rails. They got to go back to that, the two-piece front forearm that snaps on.
No.
Yeah.
Please, no.
No?
Ugh.
Okay. Anyway, in Supreme Court news, this is not exactly new news, but it probably will be to you guys. The Supreme Court has refused to hear the bump stock case.
I saw that. Yeah.
The bump stock case is dead. DOA on the Supreme Court steps. They are not going to hear it, which means that the Trump era's ban of bump stocks and redefinition of machine guns to include pieces of plastic that don't do anything, it's going to stand, at least for now. Now, there is another bump stock lawsuit in the court process right now in en banc review in, I think, the 9th or the 13th district. But it'll be years and years and years before it makes it to the steps of the Supreme Court.
Sadly.
So big loss for the gun industry and, of course, or the gun community, I think. But, of course, the NRA has an interesting take on it. The media is touting it as a huge win for gun safety. But the NRA, they said that there's a good reason for that. At present, another bump stock, let's see, what did they say? The first note that denying cert isn't the same as declaring the bump stock ban won on the merits of its case. So in other words, they're not saying that the bump stock ban is staying in place because it has merit. They're just not hearing the case, right? According to the NRA, there may be a good reason for that. What were you going to say?
That just sounds like a political move to me. Like it's too close to midterms and they're being told no or something.
Right. At the present, another bump stock case, Cargill versus Garland, is making its way to the U.S. Court of Appeals, Fifth Circuit Court. In December 2021, the Fifth Court upheld the ATF rule in this case. However, a petition by the plaintiff in June, the Fifth Court agreed to hear the case in en banc. In other words, it's being appealed to a bigger panel of judges. So there is still hope for the bump stock, which ultimately represents freedom.
Yeah, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Even though it's dumb.
It's finally one I don't recognize the song at all.
Sometimes Fish pulls out the oldies
Yeah,
and the goodies.
it's true.
Oh, yeah.
I don't recognize the intro.
Now I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no wondering when you hear an Alice in Chains song, who is that? Like that's one where the second anytime vocals start like,
Right.
oh, yeah.
The vocals maybe need to get started because you're right. The beginning of that is kind of reminiscent of maybe Black Sabbath or something.
Yeah, that's what I almost thought. It had that kind of darker groove to it.
But then they're really weird. It almost sounds like their harmonies are out of tune, but they work. I don't know how to explain it.
That's what he was known for, though.
Right.
I didn't realize it either, but apparently he was able to hit notes that like normal people cannot hit.
Yeah, he's not normal people for sure.
No.
So did you hear that there was a shooting in St. Charles? A homeless person shot another homeless person over a bicycle?
Sorry.
I was just impressed that a homeless person had a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you think the homeless person would sell the gun in order to buy the alcohol or whatever they need?
Have somewhere to stay, maybe some food.
Homeless person with priorities, though. Carry everywhere and carry every day. No matter how homeless you are. He might listen.
Why is my first thought, wonder what he carried? Like, what's wrong with me? That's
probably
my
a
first
Sterling
thought.
25 auto with the numbers ground off. Or a High Point.
Or a Taurus.
Ooh.
It's a Taurus, let's face it. Although I will say, if we're talking about firearms, apparently they have stepped their game up. The
Taurus?
The TX-22.
Yeah, I just was reading an article about that.
It got like multiple awards. Apparently it's indestructible.
It's got all kinds of bolt-on parts and stuff.
Yeah.
It makes it look kind of cool and spacey and seems like it runs like a top. I was actually thinking about getting a new 22. The question is, does it have a threaded barrel?
Yeah, that was rated as the #1 suppressor host for 22 pistol.
Yeah, because right now I've been running for the last umpteen years a Sig Mosquito.
Ooh.
And it's a fun gun because
finicky.
It feels good.
Yes,
it feels like you're holding a Sig. Just it's lighter, right? It's got good sight picture. Its recoil is very regular pistol-like.
Yeah.
However, it only eats when it wants to eat. And I think the only ammo that'll run in this gun with a can on it,
CCI Mini Mag.
it's the CCI Mini Mag, which is not subsonic.
No.
Which means you're not getting the true benefit of the no noise. So what I've been doing is I've been running subs through it and just a manual cycle every time. Just click, and then I just real quick manually it and then re-get that sight picture.
Yeah.
It's actually the gun I shoot the most.
Oh, it makes sense. It's 22. I mean, you go buy a 5,000 round case of that and you're good.
For me, it's not just the cost of the ammo, it's the quietness of it.
You can get away with that.
I live in a subdivision where gunfire is banned by the community association.
Yeah.
The HOA.
Nerds.
Yeah. As soon as the SHI
I
gave you the vowel that time. As soon as it hits the fan, they're going to call me because I'm the guy with the guns.
True.
But they don't want me actually shooting them in my backyard. So what they don't, I go into my back property, which is not necessarily part of their subdivision, and I use my suppressed 22 because literally I can shoot it all day long and nobody hears it. My dogs don't even hear it.
No, if you're like 20 feet away from you, what was that? You're not going to hear
Sounds like somebody's dropping a paper clip.
Yeah, it's stupid magazine.
Yeah. And so, but I was actually thinking that Taurus, what is that, the
TX-22. I have not heard any bad. I've looked up.
Can we get those at TacticalSht.T?
I'll have to look. There's a good chance.
We probably ought to try.
They're actually hard to get because they sell so fast.
Yeah.
It's impressive. I mean, props to Taurus every once in a while.
So is fentanyl, but people figure it out.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry, that was a little jab at this administration for letting so much fentanyl flow in.
No, they wouldn't do that. They're here to protect us.
Oh, right.
I can't say that without laughing.
I just want the 80s back when it was real cocaine and, you
didn't have to worry.
You didn't have to, nothing was trying to kill you.
AIDS.
But who knew?
AIDS.
Yeah. Come on, don't be gay. What?
Touche.
And I know it's not just a gay disease. I mean, matter of fact, I have dear friends that had it and now are completely in, what do you call it, where it's not existent anymore. They've actually that's one disease that they've come a long way with.
Yeah.
When it comes to treatment. But then as soon as they figured that one out, then they slid the monkeypox in. So
yeah, of course,
they slid it in.
Not playing ball.
Okay. O'Fallon Police is getting new police cars.
What are they getting?
I don't know. It says that they're planning on purchasing new cars. Each one of these police cars is going to cost the city $81,780. That's a bit on the ridiculous side. Wow.
What are they getting?
Let's see here.
Dear God.
It says, city fleet manager an email explaining that 1 2021 Police Explorer and 12 2022 Police Explorers were canceled. All the vehicles could be reordered at an additional cost, blah, 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 blah. So it looks like Ford Explorers, dude. Like $81,000 Ford Explorers. This sounds like something the federal government would do.
Yeah, I thought they were supposed to get brakes on them, not upcharged.
Yeah. Evidently, Joe Mockins Ford, Corwin Ford, Lou Fuse Ford, and Clement Ford in O'Fallon have all gotten requests for quote. Maybe they canceled the order because the price was so high. Maybe it was the supply chain issues in the car world that was driving up the cost. But wow, $81,000
For an Explorer.
for a police Explorer. I was a police Explorer when I was like 16, and I wasn't worth $81,000.
Ouch.
Being a police Explorer was actually cool.
What do they do?
I don't know what they do today, but my Explorer group, I started out as an Explorer in Lake St. Louis. First of all, it was a great way to meet chicks. Yeah, because the girls that love cops become police explorers and then eventually become dispatchers.
Huh.
Yeah, it's fact. And so as a young person that
I
wanted
was
to be
took
a
as
cop,
female dispatchers were chicks who wanted to become cops themselves.
no, not usually. They just want to bet them.
So they're badge bunnies.
Yes. Yeah, most dispatchers are badge bunnies, yes. And I think it's, I don't know that they were badge bunnies when they became dispatchers, or if it's just the relationship between a dispatcher and an officer that ends up making it that way, that ends up becoming a thing. But anyway, I was an Explorer in Lake St. Louis. We had a large Explorer group. We'd do ride-alongs with the cops. We'd, go on traffic stops with them. We'd go in building searches with them. We'd do stuff. We'd have to be behind them.
Yeah.
But we would be there watching things. We wouldn't go up to the door of a domestic violence. We'd have to stay in the car.
Yeah.
It was pretty
They
cool.
just send you guys in first on raids. Like, you have these little dudes go in first.
I'll tell you
Holy
what, as a police explorer one time, I was riding with Tom Etling. Tom Etling, rest in peace, brother. He's passed us, but he had me in the patrol car. I was riding along with him, and he got a call to some sort of violent thing. Well, I'm sorry. Before that, we stop at an intersection. It's Lake St. Louis Boulevard and Ravenwood, I think, which is at the top of a hill. It's a three-way stop. And he gets out. He handcuffs me to the stop sign. It's part of the hazing, that they would never talk about today.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they handcuff me to the stop sign, and he's laughing at me and taunting me and all kinds of stuff. And he gets some sort of violent domestic call or shots fired or fight in progress. I don't remember what it was. And he's like, I'll be back. Jumps in the car and smokes off. Whoop, 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 whoop. Taking off, and here I am literally for like an hour and a half handcuffed to a stop sign.
That's awesome.
True story.
I actually worked with him.
Did you?
Yeah.
He was an interesting cat.
Yeah. He did security in Ferguson.
Yeah.
When they were doing that whole.
He was the first guy that
thing.
ever taught me how to shoot an HKMP5.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love those.
Back when I was a dispatcher, Lake St. Louis, we used to go out and test different ammunitions.
Nice.
We had Federal Hydroshock, and we had Black Talons and things like that. And our way of testing was not exactly, we would shoot like watermelons, not watermelons, but like melons.
Yeah.
Just to see what the entrance and exit wound from the melon looked like.
Yeah, because that's very
I actually
to the
have
human body.
an old video from like a Walkman camcorder of us actually doing that, and it is so idiotic. And the funny thing is, the one cop, and I think he's a ranking officer now at Lake St. Louis. I got video of him. He's at like 8 yards and cannot hit the melon. Like bang, did I hit it? No. Bang, did I hit it? No.
How do you miss?
Dude, some cops just can't shoot.
No, I've seen it. I worked and I've seen a couple cops on the range before, and there'd be times where I'd be like, "You're proud of that?"
Well, I mean, you have certain cops. It's been described to me that some cops are the kind of guy that when they get off work, that gun comes off, it goes in the drawer.
Yeah,
and it doesn't come back out of the drawer until they're going back to work.
Yes,
it's like a power drill to a carpenter.
Yeah,
has nothing to do with anything. It's just something that goes on his belt.
Yep.
And it's something he hopes he never has to use.
And they shoot a qualification.
And he's not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem. He's not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Like my wife, like just kind of scared of it when it's sitting there. Right?
Yeah.
And then those are the same guys that only qual twice a year, whatever the department requires. Then you've got other guys that are kind of in between there where they actually appreciate the tool, train with the tool on a regular basis. And then you got guys like me that are a bit obsessive and like sign up for every training possible because you want to be John Wick.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, I'm still working on the whole pencil thing.
That's a whole other one.
I think Tom Rosso can get me there.
I vote that we have a company outing when John Wick 4 comes out where the whole company goes and sees it.
Can all of our dogs go too?
I would assume so, yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. You know, you and I got invited to Hollywood next week. I didn't tell you that.
What?
Yeah, for the red carpet. It's basically the final episode of A Grunt's Life 2.
Oh, did they finally air it? Because I was following all of them, and then there was a holdup.
I think it's like October 25th is when they're going to air it, and they're going to air it at the what's that place called that you veterans hang out at, drink beers and raise money?
Oh, the VFW.
VFW, yeah.
Never actually been.
So the Hollywood VFW. Did you know there was one?
No.
Yes, there's a Hollywood VFW.
That has to be an interesting place.
And we were invited, but
it's Hollywood though.
It's like it was short notice, and I just didn't feel like spending the money to fly to California, even though it would have been so much fun to see our friends.
Yeah, we haven't seen them in a minute.
You actually have a role in that too, don't you?
Yes, I was the guy doing presentation. I was supposed to be an ODA guy doing presentation drills in the gym while the Navy SEALs kiss each other.
Yeah. So like in this one scene in Vet TV, A Grunt's Life 2, it's got to be somewhere towards the last episodes.
Yeah.
But we are in a gymnasium at the base in Kandahar. There's SEALs working out. ODA means Operational Deployment Alpha, right?
Yep.
Which is basically Green Berets plus.
Yeah.
Right. And then it was me, Donnie O'Malley, and the CEO of Tim Jensen, the founder, not just CEO, the founder of Grunt Style. Me and Tim and Donnie is bench pressing while I'm spotting him with my silkies.
Yes.
And let's just say they're right in his face. And meanwhile, there's these SEALs that are like making out over by where Alex here is learning how to aim his gun.
We be back.
Are we?
Yeah.
Is this thing live?
It is.
Is there anybody out there? If there is, text the word tactical. Prove it. Text the word tactical to 59769 right now. By doing that, you are giving us permission to send automated text messages to your phone with special money-saving discount offers on guns, ammunition, tactical gear, and other cool stuff. Text the word tactical to 59769. Hey, did you ever get that poll up we were talking about yesterday?
I did. I need to check the results. I'll have to do that.
So
character would be more.
So yesterday we had talked in the show, and you can see that show tomorrow at 11 o'clock, Saturday at 11. It's our best show of the week. It's when all three of us are here. That show we talked about who would be the most dangerous or the most lethal or the most deadly horror movie killer if they had night vision. And I think the choices were Freddy Krueger,
Yep.
Michael Myers, Chucky, who else?
Jason Voorhees. And then
Jason. And
we
then
did Jeffrey Dahmer on here.
We also
I can't do
added
that.
Jeffrey Dahmer as a joke, but he's really not in the poll.
No, on the poll it only gave me 4 options.
Yeah, because he did not need night vision to eat gay dudes. You could do that with the lights on.
It's not bad. We've had 1,000 people look at it, 38 responses.
Don't say the results.
All right.
We're going to release the results next week.
All right.
You can vote on this poll right now. All you need to do is go to shop.tacticalsht.com. Shop.tactical. Shop.tacticalsht.com. And a little pop-up poll will hit you from the bottom of your phone or the bottom right screen of your computer, and you are able to vote for which one you think's the best. And next week, we will give you absolutely nothing for winning. What? We supposed to give away things?
No. I'm just reading some of the comments people left on this. One of them, why are you asking me a stupid question? Have some fun in life, bud.
Okay, fun. It's fun, not bud. That's a fun statement.
But no, this is see, one of them is actually like, this guy really thought this out. Another one is stupid, but STOOPID. Stupid question. Fiction. Who cares? I mean, at least take a spelling class.
Wow. Yeah, I guess our fans don't all have senses of humor.
No, come on. It's Halloween-ish time period. It's a legitimate question. I honestly can't make up my mind. I haven't voted because I'm getting close. I think I have it narrowed down. I'm still not 100%. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
Fish, what do you think?
Yeah, Fish owns a haunted house, so he's a scare professional.
Scare professional.
Yeah, if any of those characters had night vision, who would have been the most effective?
Fish has the fear factor.
Fear. I don't know, man. That's a deep question. You're asking me to think too much right now. My brain is like jello.
Almost need to go back and watch them all to see which ones do most their killing in the dark. And I think like Jason for sure.
I mean, really, all of them.
Well, Freddy's into dreams though, man. Freddy's in the dream state. You know,
there is that.
Because if he wants it to be light, he makes it light. He's controlling the dream.
That's a good point. You don't need night vision in dreams that you're controlling.
No, but Jason,
I think that says it all. He's controlling the dream.
He's literally hunting you in the dark, typically out in the woods after you've left the safety and security of your vehicle or the house or whatever.
That's been my thought so far is him.
All right. It's either that or Chucky. I think Chucky with night vision would be even more horrifying.
Dog, just because I used to be deathly afraid of small people.
And they're called midgets, Alex.
I don't know what the politically correct term is.
It's not politically correct, but this show is not politically correct. We are considered extremists.
Yes. So midgets used to terrify me. In fact, at Ultimate Defense, they threatened to put one in the gun safe, and when I go to get a gun out for a customer,
I know. When I met you, you were scared of midgets.
Yeah.
I always thought that was funny because you're a pretty big dude. I actually told him one day, I'm like, look, just if one scares you, pick it up and throw it.
Well, they're right at the level of certain things that it would terrify me to be able to attack. It's a weakness.
Yeah.
And
so are dogs.
I've been attacked by a dog. That's why I don't run anymore. Last time I decided, you know what? Been doing lots of weights. It's time to go for a run. I go for a run, get attacked by a dog. Dog comes at me a second time after I kicked it off my leg, and I kick him in the head. The lady yells at me. He runs out of her front yard, across the street, onto the sidewalk, latches onto my calf. I shake him off. He comes at me a second time. I kick him in the head, not even that hard, just like, hey, get away, and yell at him. And she starts screaming at me, don't kick my dog. Okay, I'm going to come kick you in the head then. That seems fair. You're right. It's not the dog's fault. It's yours.
Very possible. Hey, did you hear that the Army just ordered $107 million worth of Elbit Systems night vision binoculars? They're not what you think, though, right? They're not.
They're for Ukraine?
No, they're not NVGBs 31s. They're not Harris 5032s. They are enhanced night vision goggles, ENVGBs.
Ooh.
This is actually pretty sick. The ENVGB, as in Boston, integrates heads-up situational awareness and powerful capabilities, including wireless connections to the soldier's rifle-mounted thermal weapon sight, allowing for rapid target acquisition, using augmented reality to better understand the environment and engage with adversaries in close combat. So this thing is basically taking your white phosphor 5032s, like I've got, like that we sell at TacticalSht.T right now for 10% off, and they're taking that technology, basically Bluetooth it in, or whatever, thermal imaging that then overlays over what you're seeing along with other virtual reality elements. We're getting one step closer to straight up gaming.
That's some Gucci stuff.
It's Terminator.
All I can think of is the poor E2 or E3 who's in charge of that equipment and his comes up missing, and the sergeant does accountability roll call. And he has to raise his hand. Sergeant, I can't find mine. Oh, that's going to go bad for you, bud.
That reminds me, we need to check and see if they ever found those missing Bravo 240 Bravos.
No, totally don't have them in my basement.
Yeah, so these ENVGBs sound pretty sensual, and I look forward to having them for you, the American patriot, as soon as I physically can. But right now, we have a sale going on that actually ends this weekend.
Yeah.
It's 10% off night vision. We never do that.
No.
And by the way, it is legal to hunt coyote and hogs in Missouri if you live in the South, or if you have hogs up here, I guess. If it's legal to hunt them all year long in the dark with night vision or thermals. And we've got it right now, 10% off. We've got green phosphor.
White phosphor.
We got green phosphor PVS 14s, which is the single binocular. Those are like $2,800.
Yeah.
We've got 10% off of that. We got white phosphor singles for like $3,500. Or you could get into a pair of binoculars for like 9 or 10 grand. It's pretty wild.
Worth it. Yeah. Worth every penny.
Is that the end of the show?
Yeah, already.
You know, we don't have to go yet. Fish plays these really long outros. It's like 60 seconds of music. It really cuts into our time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say we protest.
I think we should. Hey, have a good weekend. Go out and shoot some things.
By night
get
vision.
some gun time. Stop by TacticalSht.T. Use the word Chucky this weekend in our retail store in St. Peter's or Florida and get 10% off everything. Keyword Chucky. That's for you and you only.